Should you feed a hive during the spring? Can I put sugar water in a swarm trap to help attract swarms? When in the spring should I put small hive beetle traps in the hive? I've got a ton of questions that I'm going to answer. These questions are amazing and they're going to help beekeepers. When do we add green drone frames after getting a new nuke? David, will deformed wing virus affect honey? Just really good questions. Should I still leave my hives wrapped in March in Cincinnati, Ohio? Is it too early to put out a swarm trap in North Carolina? If I know my bees are prone to swarming, should I put on my supers early? Oh my gosh. Hey everybody, David Burns, good to be with you. These are a lot of questions left over from my live stream. Let's jump right into it. Should you feed a new hive during the spring? Absolutely. Now, it's not so critical if you're getting a nuke, which is 5 frames of bees. They already have resources. But if you're getting a package, the package doesn't have anything in there. And so you do need to feed them. So be sure and feed your bees. Hi, David. Corey says, I'm from Texas area. And I did my hive inspection last Sunday. 2 hives at the same location had frames and fresh eggs in queen's cups. And center of frame, no queen located. Also, no drones. Help! All right. So you got 2 hives and you had frames of fresh eggs. This is kind of a mystery. But you also had queen cups in the center of the frame. Now, you got to look inside those cups, Corey. Are there any eggs or larvae in those cups? So a lot of times you have those kind of queen cups. They're not really a whole cell yet, but they're just a cup, and they're there just in case they need them. Look inside, see if there's eggs or larvae in them. If there's eggs or larvae in that, that means they're probably raising either swarm cells or supersedure cells. And you didn't really say, center of the frame. That sounds more like supersedure. It can be both, but I'm guessing if they're really what we call charged, full of larvae, then that means they're replacing your queen. Not really anything you should do about it. If they need to replace their queen, let them replace the queen. All right. Hey, why do mites become resistant with the same mite treatment if you kill them all? Commercial beekeepers do OA, oxalic acid treatments every 20 days during temperature tolerant season. Do those not become resistant? Well, Julie, the reason that we're concerned about this is that there are times that treatments don't kill all your mites. Rarely do treatments kill every single mite in the hive. We want that. We wish for that. It doesn't happen. Because, they're the vapors of oxalic acid, maybe they don't reach everywhere. And, for example, with OA, it doesn't kill mites below the cap. So they are protected. Now, if you do it, like you said, every 20 days, you're kind of killing them as they emerge out of those cells. It's hard to kill all the mites, and that's what we're concerned about, the mites that even are touched by the chemical treatments and survive if they can build up a resistance. Amy, can we get a free meeting consultation with David if out-of-state drive to pick up? So I'm selling packages of bees like we do every year, and nucleuses. And so it is really difficult when you show up to pick up your bees for me to have time to give consultation because I'm putting out fires, I'm troubleshooting, I'm trying to keep my workers on track, I'm trying to keep all the bees flowing where they need to go. I would love to do it. I wish I could. I'm going to say that's probably going to be very difficult to do. All right, Marianne, can I put sugar water in a swarm trap to help attract bee swarms? Sugar water could help, yes, but something it helps more is a lemon extract like Swarm Commander, a kind of a smell that will attract bees. Look that up. You're going to have better luck with that. Greg, when in the spring should I put my small hive beetle traps in my hive? Put your small hive beetle traps in your hive, Greg, ASAP as soon as you can. As soon as you can work your bees, manipulate frames, 65 degrees Fahrenheit or 18 degrees Celsius, get in there and start getting those traps in early. Absolutely. Small hive beetle is quite a pest. Dustin, how you doing? When requeening and making splits, why shouldn't you take the old queen and move her to the nuke and use a queen cell in the main hive? That's the way I do it. Yeah. I mean, absolutely. If you already have queen cells. I always make a spring split by taking the old queen away from the hive with 4 frames of brood and honey and all, and that's my split. Back home, they either raise their own queen or I give them a queen cell. All right, Matthew says, I found a hive. Is it safe to take it and put it in a Langstroth hive right now? Matthew, I don't know where you live. I don't know if you're in a cold winter climate or if you're in Australia where it's nice, or I don't know. That's going to depend a lot. Let me just give you 2 examples. If you're in the winter time and you found a hive, wait until good weather to move it. Warm weather where bees are flying. That's going to be better for your bees. If you, I guess I answered both of those. By the way, this is unedited. This is raw and unedited, so I don't edit my videos. And people call me during my video. Let me see. I can't take that. Okay, sorry about that. It is raw and unedited. I'll probably get a lot of phone calls, but we'll try to keep. I'm making this earlier today, so always busy in the daytime. So back to the questions here. If it's cold outside, I would wait. If it's warm, you could do it. All right, Christopher. Any advice? Oh, here's a good one. Danny says, when do we add green drone frames after getting a nuke? I would do it right away, immediately. When you transfer your 5 frames over from the nuke into that hive, I want you to put a green drone comb in there on the one that's farthest from the 5 frames. So 5 frames, green drone comb is going to be the one next to your 5 frames. That'll help. 5 frame green drone comb. Green drone comb, by the way, is a Mite Control method. It really does work good. I've made a lot of videos on that. Look at my channel for that video. All right, we're buzzing right along. A lot of questions today. Any advice for those of us who saw the queen stop laying early in the fall and now we have dead outs? Toss all the equipment, or okay to keep and reuse? Okay to keep and reuse. Sounds like your bees died from low populations, the queen stopped laying. Yeah, don't throw equipment away. Never burn your equipment. Never throw it away unless you know for sure that you have a disease that is highly contagious, like American foul brood or European foul brood. Even with European foul brood, you can treat with antibiotics. American foul brood, most states require that you burn your equipment. Yep. All right. When is a good time to remove your bee smart guards to coat hanger dead bees out anytime? Yeah. So the question is, there's bees dying all the time in the winter and they're dropping to your bottom board. And of course, there's going to be a lot of them as winter goes on. Your bees are still good and healthy up above, but the dead ones are collecting on the bottom and they start to smell and rot. And so what happens is you can take off whatever entrance reducer or smart guards on the front of your hive, and you can take a coat hanger. We actually sell the little blue bee raker that you put in there and rake the bees out. So yes, do that anytime and all the time. It helps the bees a lot. Hey, Gene, David, will deformed wing virus affect the honey? No. A deformed wing virus is a virus within bees. It's not something to worry about in the honey. Sunshine, hello, Sunshine. I was so happy to meet you over in Indianapolis when I spoke over there. That was a lot of fun. Have you used extended release OA strips in your hives? What are your thoughts on it? I want to clarify that. I don't use extended release OA strips. I want to make sure that you understand that I use Varroa. Then they are extended release OA strips. And the reason I say that is because beekeepers started using paper towels and different things before it was really legal to do it. And I don't do that. So yeah, I have used Varroa. And the problem with that is I didn't get them late in the year, and then it took me longer to get them on the hive. And then I just got caught up in so many projects in the fall that I wasn't able to really monitor those. So I'm looking forward to testing those out in the spring and getting some results on that. Absolutely. Good to see you, on the live stream. By the way, these questions are from my live stream every Thursday night. We had over 600 people gathered, beekeepers gathered last night on our live stream. It's a fabulous live stream. We have giveaways. I gave away 2 of my ultimate bee courses last night on my, and sometimes after the live stream, get this, we actually, surprisingly, will give away free. We'll put our classes online free for 30 minutes after the live stream. Not every time, but we've been known to do that. You don't know it unless you watch the live stream. So be sure and join us. We're trying to help beekeepers out, and that's a good time to answer a lot of questions. These are left over. I answered questions nonstop, and these are left over from last night. So this is a good place for you to come and get your questions answered. I love having you there Thursday night, 7 p.m. Central Time. Hey, Victor. Left a couple of frames of honey in the refrigerator since freezer is full. They look like mold has grown on comb. Would that still be edible? I would not eat mold. I wouldn't. No. Mold, probably, some mold on fruit. You see that sometimes on strawberries or blueberries. I would never eat that. I don't think we should eat mold. I don't think you should breathe mold, eat mold. Whether it's going to hurt you, I know there's some of you, and myself included, I've accidentally eaten mold on stuff and I didn't die or get sick or anything, but you can. You can hurt your lungs. It can make you sick. So let's don't do that. Hey, Tim, David, do you think I can have a walk-away split if I move the hives 2 miles away? That's a lot of walking, Tim. You're going to walk 2 miles carrying a beehive? Oh my gosh. You're stronger than I am, man. I'd put it in a truck. I call it a drive-away split. Yeah, a drive-away split. I don't think that's ever been thought of. It's just a brand new thing I just came up with. Oh, gosh. Sure, you can do that. I had a lot of fun on that question. Yeah, walk-away split. Make sure the weather's good. And you can do it in the wintertime, but you might shake the cluster down and cause clusters to not form back up correctly. But anyway, yeah, you can do that. 2 miles away helps the orientation flight of the foragers get acquainted with their new location. Hey, David, I have 3 hives for the moment, and I need to change all 3 queens. What do you suggest? Wait till the weather's good. Go in there. Remove your queens. I hate to say kill the queens. It sounds so brutal, so let's just say remove the queens. And then wait about 12 to 24 hours, and then insert the new queens, and they're going to be in their own queen cell behind candy. Let them slowly eat through the candy. You can do them all at the same time or stagger them. Doesn't make any difference. Hey, Johnny, still leave the hives wrapped till March in Cincinnati, Ohio. Leave the hives wrapped as long as you think the weather is going to be really cold and your hives are benefiting from the wrap. If it warms up, it's nice, take the wraps off. Junebug, too early to put out a swarm trap in North Carolina? Absolutely not. Get those out there. It's better to have them out there before the bees swarm. Yeah. Amy, if I know my bees are prone to swarming, should I put on my supers early? Here's a good question, Amy. Thank you. Here's the deal. A lot of people think that by putting supers on, you're giving your bees more room and the bees won't swarm. And that's not always the case. It can be part of a strategy that is involved in other steps. But just putting a super on there, especially undrawn frames in a super, it will not prevent a swarm. Because just having more room isn't the problem. The problem is the bees are all crowded down below. And it's going to take them too long to draw out the frames or get up there. You're better to control bees systematically and continually rather than try to control them in an instant. Yeah, so that's not going to help. Swarm control is going to really be beneficial if you keep looking for queen cells and remove them as they develop and keep your hive as one, or the Damare method, or a walk-away split, or a split like the way I do. Hey, Ron, 2 hives, same size. One, lots of bees flying around at 50 degrees, and none flying in the other hive. Why is that? Could be a lot of reasons, Ron. Could be that one hive died. If they still have bees in them, it means that one hive might be in the sun more, and it flies more, and the other one's in the shade, too cold to fly. It also means that if you're feeding them, that one hive maybe doesn't have enough food, they're flying for food, the other hive's got food, they're in there eating it. It could be that, it sounds like to me that the one hive is strong and one hive is weak that's not flying. Michael, if a virgin queen goes out on a mating flight and there's no drones from her hive that go to drone congregation. Oh, wait a minute. I didn't say no. Let me read that again. If a virgin queen goes out on a mating flight and there's drones from her hive that go to drone collection, what's the saying that she don't end up mating with some of her brothers? I get what you're saying. So in other words, a queen's going to fly out to a drone congregation area to mate with 20 plus drones. Is it possible that some of her drones can actually be in that drone congregation area? Yes, it's possible. Scientific studies have been done, and sometimes the DCAs are within a mile or so where her brothers could go. And so that's the case. But in genetics, with haploidy, diploidy drones, or genetics in bees, drones are likely, it's not likely going to happen. It has to line up, the sex allele has to line up just right and everything. Nature is pretty good at taking care of that. It's possible, but it's something that we really don't worry about. Yeah, normally the queen goes a little further away to a DCA than her brothers are going to. That's a good question. I always like talking about queens. All right. David, hey Anthony, is there a particular time to add a drone comb, or is it okay to start in a new package? Oh, second question on that. Yeah, start it in a new package. Let them start adding wax to it ASAP. So put it in there as soon as you throw a new package in a deep box. Avilio, and how can you use an old hive from a dead colony to trap a swarm? Oh, okay. How and can you use an old hive from a dead colony to trap a swarm? Yeah, you could actually take an old hive that's from a dead out, put it up on a fence post or up in a tree, fasten it with some tie-down straps, put some Swarm Commander fluid in there, and see if bees will go in there. That might work. Yep, a little heavy, a little bulky. People do it. I have a friend that does exactly that, what you're saying. So yeah, you can do that. Put a tie-down bottom board, deep box, top cover, Swarm Commander in there, tie-down strap, the bottom board, top cover all the way around, strap it to a branch or something, and that way when they're in there, they can go to work on those frames and you want to transfer them. I like the idea a lot, actually. I love it. Yeah, if you got the equipment. Stagecoach honeybees. Sounds like an old Western, doesn't it? David, your thoughts on caging your queen in July, August, September with a Better Bee queen isolation cage and a green drone comb for brood break, IPM. Good idea, bad idea, thoughts, Jason in Central Illinois. Hey, Jason, you live near me. By the way, please subscribe. Bobblehead David is over here with the subscribe sign. Get my cup out of the way and subscribe to the video. Appreciate it, guys. When you subscribe, it's free. It just helps you know when I produce a new video. All right. Jason, that's a good question. I do. Obviously, I'm the one that has promoted breaking the queen's brood cycle July, August, September, and I do it with a pushing cage. But can you use the Better Bee queen isolation cage? Better Bee sells them. It's actually made by a company. And I made some videos last year on this. I wrote an article in Bee Culture on this. And yeah, works great. Do it. I think what you're saying is a good thing to try. Absolutely. It's very good. You trap a lot of mites in there, force the queen to lay on the green drone comb. That's a good idea. By the way, speaking of Better Bee, this is not a paid promotion video, but Dr. David Peck is going to be on our live stream on February the 27th. So please come on the live stream. He's going to be talking about a little bit about pest and management control, but mostly about treatments. A lot of you ask me, what treatment should I use? When? How can I treat this? What's this treatment's efficacy and all that? And he's been on our live stream several times before. You guys love him. And so we look forward to having him back. He and I work together with Eastern Apicultural Society on the Master Beekeeper certification program. So I enjoyed spending time with David last summer, and it's going to be fun to have him back on the live stream. I'm in Florida and my colony is exploding. I found several capped cells. Can I use some of those cells to make my own queens and skip the grafting part? Very good. Absolutely. Always do that. Always. When you find a cell, now remember when they're cells, you can damage them by turning them horizontal. Keep them vertical and don't let them get cold. They're still growing and maturing. You can damage the cells if you pick them out of the comb and transfer them by just throw them in your lunchbox and then going across the county and putting them in another hive somewhere. They're not going to live. So you got to keep them warm. I always like take cooler with some warm rags on the bottom, and I place them on a carrying frame where they stay vertical. Hey Larry, if the swarms and I catch it to keep. What? And I wake up too early? Let me just have another sip of coffee here. I can't read, or this was not written right. Okay, got it now. That helped a lot. Amazing what coffee does. If the hive swarms and I catch it to keep, is there an issue if I put them in a new hive close to the original hive? Do I need to take them 2 miles away at first? Larry, that's a good question. It is likely that it will be okay, because when they swarm, they flip the switch that says, we don't live in the old house anymore, we're not going back. And the old hive and the original hive will not let them in anyway. I think you're okay. Try it, let me know. I'll change my answer if it doesn't work. Dean, watched a documentary on honeybees and challenges for beaks. A brief comment that Varroa is a domestic bee issue as wild bees are resistant. Doesn't track with science to me. Your thoughts? That's absolutely not correct. My gosh, when Varroa hit the U.S., knocked out most of the feral colonies. No, a beehive is a beehive. It doesn't matter if it's living in a tree or if it lives in a domesticated Langstroth hive. The Varroa destructor is looking for bees. It doesn't care where they live. I'm not sure. Maybe you misunderstood what they were trying to say or something, because everybody knows that. Everybody knows that. Hey, Darla, what do you do about wax moths on equipment that you aren't using? Also, can you still do the winter bee kind without additives? Yes, you can use the winter bee kind without additives. I just like to give some protein to my bees and sugar water. Bees live on the same foods we do, protein, carbohydrates. So they need the protein in the wintertime to run those muscles to keep warm. As far as wax moths on old equipment, scrape it off, freeze it. If you can get it in a freezer for 48 hours, it'll kill any eggs, and then you can just scrape it off. It's fine to use. You can use things like paradichlorobenzene and all the big guns of, beekeeping chemicals to kill wax moth, but they're still pretty carcinogenic. I don't like to use it. I'd just rather freeze it. That kills all 3 stages of the wax moth, and then scrape it off and reuse it. Yeah, go for it. Hey, Leslie. Oh, by the way, somebody said they caught me speeding up my video. I do think I am a slow talker. So sometimes just for my own sake, not for the viewer, but my files are so big and my internet is not that great, and I do speed myself up slightly, so my files are a little bit smaller. But I try to talk faster because of that reason, but whatever. Yeah. I know that winter bees live longer, but do they age and mature at the same rate as spring bees? I ask because I know there is a possible brood break and wondering if they are able to care for them. Yeah, bees of winter physiology, they don't cycle through all the gradual work labor forces, the steps that a summer bee goes through. A summer bee quickly goes through, they emerge and they clean cells. After they clean cells, they get a little bit older. They feed old larvae. After they get older, they feed new larvae. After they get a little bit older, they make wax glands, or wax glands make wax. They go through these as their different glands develop. They do different jobs. Winter bees can stretch that out very lengthy, and so they can. A winter bee can still make royal jelly deep into their after they've been 12 days old, for example, where a summer bee can't do that. So yeah, that's all different, totally different. Taylor, in Georgia, weather is so back and forth this time of the year. Is it okay to just leave the candy board on top and do an entrance feeder for liquid on warm days? Liquid feeder. Yeah, you can do that. I see what you're getting at. Nothing wrong with that. I don't like using entrance feeders. Don't use them in the late summer or fall. You'll make your hives get robbed out. But in the spring, when there's foraging resources out there, bees aren't going to rob that entrance feeder. That would work. Don't let the winter bee kind get really warm. It might get a little too drippy. Gary, the guy I'm buying my 2 nooks from, only uses medium boxes. I only use deep boxes. How would you incorporate the medium frames into my new deep box? What procedure would you use? My procedure would be to buy nooks in a deep frame and not buy one in a medium frame. That's a tough one. You could go ahead and put them in there and let the bees just add their comb to the bottom. Have you seen my videos? I do that all the time. Sometimes they make it drone comb. Sometimes they make it just worker comb. I would just go ahead and use them and let the bees draw out the other, 3 inches on the bottom. Let it be. Just let it be, I guess. That's going to be your best way to do it. Hey, Doreen, what is the best way to fix the outer corners on hives that get damaged from prying them apart? Hey, you're with me. We must be too strong. And we just pry those corners. We just demolish our corners. I've made a lot of videos right here at this table fixing those corners or talking about those corners. So they make little, you want to check on that, but I think Bee Smart actually makes corner repair things that I've seen, and I believe he does. And so I think he sent me some to try, but that's one way to do it. Or, you have to be a carpenter. We've talked about it in my videos. People gave a lot of ways they would do it. They would cut a 1.5 inch or 2 inch rim off and put a new piece of wood on and attach it. It's, if you're a carpenter, you can repair them. For me personally, though, my time is so precious, and I'm under such a gun with bees and videos that I just don't have the time to repair boxes like that. I wish I did. I don't. So I'm just, oh, by the way, my shirt says Hives for Heroes. Sorry about my microphone. Yeah, Hives for Heroes. So I would just buy a new box. Now, here's a trick. If it is a deep hive box, what you can do is, if the damage is on just one edge, the bottom or the top, then cut it to the size, I think that's 6 5/8, cut it to the size of a super. So you can turn a damaged deep box into a new, fresh honey super, medium super. But yeah, otherwise you just have to be creative, figure out how you can repair that. It's a little tough. Alrighty. Hi, David, new beekeeper this spring. I am making foundation using a 3D printer. I see foundation manufacturers having varying diameters for cell width. Do you prefer a specific cell size? Is this my last question? Yeah, it is. Cell size. Yeah, I answered this last night in my live stream, but let me touch on it again. The best thing that you can do, I think, is to take a comb and take your calipers, your digital calipers, and measure the diameter of a typical frame that you have. It'd be good if you could get one that's, if you buy, well, I should say it this way. If you buy frames from like Date Ant, Man Leg, Better Bee, they're already got, plastic frames already have the imprint of the cell diameter on them. The bees don't have to follow that imprint. They can change it, widen them, make them smaller. Obviously, they do when they make drone brood. It's going to be larger than what the manufactured print is. So bees are going to do probably what they want to do anyway. They don't always follow that precisely out from that foundation. We think they would, we hope they would, but they don't always do that. So I studied that for a long time, and I studied regressed bees for a long time. Regressed bees are smaller cell size, and I just threw the white flag. Yeah, I just threw the white flag in. I surrender. I'm not going to worry about that. Wow. I'm going to have to, I can't get that call either, I don't think. Sorry about this. It's just like that call needs to be taken, but I'm in the middle of a video. Let's don't take it. Oh, that's going to hurt. Okay. So yeah, I would just look at the different cell size options you have. Obviously, drone cell size are much larger. That's how the queen knows to lay unfertilized eggs in it. So do your homework and do a little research and figure out how you want to set up your 3D printer. Let me know, by the way, let me know how that works out. How long does it take to print one of your deep frames on a 3D printer. That'd be interesting to see. And then you would have to consider, are you going to wax coat them? I think that's going to be good if you wax coat them too. Guys, I got those questions answered, and that was great. That was 30-something questions in there. I appreciate you guys watching the live stream, and I hope that you will every Thursday night. We have hundreds and hundreds of beekeepers that get together. The chat is huge. They all talk to each other. They enjoy each other's company on Thursday night. It's a great time to sit back on Thursday night. We don't hold you over. We try to keep it to 59 minutes on Thursday night because your time is valuable, and we appreciate you being there. So be sure and check out my live stream. And I appreciate you being a part of my YouTube channel here, and appreciate and love you guys so much. I just made a video that I'd love for you to watch, and it's all about how you're going to understand how to transition from winter into spring. That was last night's teaching on my live stream. Check it out right over here. I'll see you guys over there. Got to return all these phone calls. Bye-bye.